Did you start writing or recording first? Let me ask that
I started
question.
writing first.
When did you start writing?
So
When did you write your first song? Tell me about your first song. What's it called? Who you dedicated to? All that stuff.
So embarrassing. My first song that I wrote, I was like maybe 9 or 10. And the song was called Black Butterfly.
Black Butterfly, that's hard.
I don't know what I was talking about. And I wrote it to the loop. It was, remember the movie Love Don't Cost a Thing?
Love don't cost
No, the movie with Christina Milian and Nick Cannon.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was a scene where she's like playing the guitar and there was like this loop. Whatever.
Yeah.
And so I never forgot it. So I figured out how to play it on the keys and I just wrote a song to it. And it was about like a girl growing up and like going somewhere new. But I don't...
Black Butterfly.
Black Butterfly.
She's a butterfly still. She's black and she was a butterfly.
That is so weird to think about. But yeah, I was like 10.
You can make it work.
And then I didn't write anything from there. And then the next song, I just started getting my little feelings hurt. And I was like maybe 15. Started writing.
So the writing started, well, Black Butterfly came at 10, but then like the real, I want to say the real writing as if that writing wasn't real, but the other writing came when you started having more experiences with relationships and whatever those things are called.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, outside of writing, then when did you first start recording? What's the first song you recorded?
First song I recorded, the recording didn't come until later. I was probably like maybe 18 or 19. One of my friends who I've created music with, he always had a studio in his basement. It was like built in his crib. And we would just be in there recording stuff. I say like 2014 when I first started recording. 2013.
That makes sense.
13,
I feel like I found my first song of yours on SoundCloud like 2014.
That my first song I dropped was definitely around 2014, and then my first project was 2015.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Wow! You really did start there. That's crazy. I remember just seeing the cover art that I saw. You had short hair on it, I think, and like I just was like, oh, this looks like a real like black girl. Like it's SoundCloud back then. Not everyone was really. There were certain scenes that were on it, but not everyone was really in it. Okay, we'll talk about that later. All right. So first song I remember hearing, or first song you recorded, first song you wrote. When's the first performance, or what's the first time you ever performed live?
So I've always had a piano where I've lived. Like my grandmother had a piano, my parents like had a piano where in our home. So, they'd have people over and I might like play a song or a cover. So technically I've been performing for a long time in a way. And when family members have weddings, funerals and stuff like that, like I would be singing them.
So you was that little niece.
I was, right.
Yeah. Go ahead, sing that song. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. I'll sing something. But I remember it had to have been like 2015 again, and that was my first time performing without the piano.
Ooh.
And that was like, ooh, wait a second. It was like some art showcase, and it was in Georgetown. It's a spot in DC, an area in DC. And it was just an open floor. And they're like, yo, while we switching sets, anybody want to come up and just do something? So I was like, man, maybe I should. And
you've always been that outgoing?
When it comes to performing, I have always been outgoing.
That's beautiful.
I'm an outgoing friend.
Yeah. Okay. So then I interrupted you. Go ahead. Continue.
So I got on the mic and I sung, and I was really stiff, but people were really singing along with me, and I was like, oh yeah, I like this. What'd you sing? I sung "I Remember the Way You Used to Love Me" by Faith Evans.
Oh, I remember. Those are good songs to sing back at that time, probably.
I was like, yeah, kind of like just snap with me, just something to just keep tempo. People may know the words, and
yeah. You were good at. Well, I mean, I feel like, how can I put it? You seem like you were always aware of your craft and of your gift, and you were never scared to use it. But some people are scared of that. I feel like I was so scared of my gifts for so long. I'm just now tapping into them, but I should have been stepped in it, No,
I feel it 100%. I am starting to unravel and peel the layers of my gifts, and sometimes, and I realize like, damn, Alex, you still a little scared, you know what I'm saying? But we still tapping in. But music has always been like my most comfortable space and my safest space. So I always make sure to like lean into it because it's like my best friend, you know?
Yeah.
Like
What's the latest thing you've unraveled about yourself? Deep sigh. It's okay. We in the pink room. We doing girl talk. It's just Drea.
Repeat the question. Let me just make sure I answer it right.
What's one of the most recent things you've unraveled about yourself or unpacked about yourself?
One of the most recent things I've unraveled or unpacked about myself. I'm trying to think about the last time I looked out the window and what I said, because that's usually what I'm like. Alex. I have to give myself more grace.
Yeah.
I'm not giving myself enough grace still. Cause I mean, this is like, that's a real like thing you have to keep hacking at. And I'm making progress, but there's still more work to be done. Like, you know, I get into a groove of things and then something happens and it just feels like it's just mucking up all the progress that I've made.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't want it to stop me from moving forward. So I try to like push past it or do strategies or, you know, whatever, optimism my way out of it, but I still be mad.
Yeah, but you still be holding on to like that little crutch on the end. I know what you mean.
Yeah, so
I know what you mean. I'm there right now too.
And I'm not a person who wants to be stubborn in that space. I want to get out of it. So when I be like, it just is like, Alex, when you peel back the layers of it, like you're just not giving yourself enough grace. Like it's okay.
Yeah,
it's already happened. And it's gonna happen until it doesn't happen anymore. Like that's just part of the learning process.
Yeah.
And this is how you get past it. You have to experience it. Chill.
Yeah. The pressure that we put on ourselves comes from us, the lack of grace. That we are pretty much like the source of a lot of the pressure and the stuff that we feel, the frustration that we feel. I'm learning that too with myself now, like being in a place where I would say I pretty much have everything I need or want in terms of a career, in terms of like, you know, the trajectory. There we go. I planted, my seeds are now all planted in the soil that they need to be in, at least hypothetically. But I still look around and I do one thing wrong. I'm like, as long as it took me to get here, now I have to f it all up. Like,
yes. As soon as you do something wrong, it's like, why do I still not know that? Like, why are we still here? Like, this is why. And then you can start rabbit hole and I have to stop myself.
Yeah, yeah.
And be like, Alex, chill. It happens.
Yeah.
How are we gonna keep going if you always so mad at yourself? Like, bro, chill.
Why is that I don't want to say we as in like there's a particular type person or a woman or whatever, but why in general do you think human beings are so used to like being that hard on themselves? Why are we even hard on ourselves at all? We're stuck here. We didn't ask to be here. Why are we hard on that?
I think it's because, you know, you don't really see yourself the way other people see you. When you see other people, it just seems like they're doing everything you're not doing. And when you look on television and when you look on just media in general, it just looks like everybody's doing things properly and correctly. And so you feel like, you know, if it's not looking like that or similar, then I am not doing something right. You know, like my stomach, I got a sit down stomach versus the person with abs. What am I not doing? Like, why can't I live, bro? Like, this is why this isn't happening for me. Like, that's just, it's toxic, you know? And I think once you like make the active decision to say, chill, stop.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, it's not that bad because at least for myself, you know, we all are our biggest critics, but like, I think humans are just so beautiful, but and it's a self journey to figure out.
Yeah, a self journey.
It's a self journey. It's
a personal journey. When I was growing up, or when my mom and dad were raising me, you know, they want us to be, you know, strong Black women and go out here and get that job and da da da. I'm like, girl, do you tell me what it was like being out here as one of these strong Black women and what we have to go through and how we have to like suppress certain things? It's a lot.
But I feel like knowing what a strong Black woman is, it just keeps redefining itself, and we keep peeling layers back to what that means, especially because now we're, you know, older women, we're still young women, but like, wow, like, you know, our moms were really like in the workspace and making sure the kids was fed and we had nice outfits on and went on trips or whatever the case and showed up and go, like, it's amazing strength and still manage to, you know, have mommy time.
Right.
You know, that's a superpower. So being a strong Black woman, like it took training, you know, being with our OGs, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. And you said something so important. It's steady, it's always redefining itself. Like
Yeah.
the concept of a strong Black woman. How do you keep yourself strong and mentally, emotionally? Like, how do you reset whenever you have those moments and then, you know, reinvigorate yourself?
I pray. I sleep.
That's a good one. That's okay to sleep.
No, rest is like seriously important. Like, you know, you'll tire yourself out and you need to rest. You know, don't keep pushing yourself and off the edge. You can't do anything if you got nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
So rest, lean on my village, you know, we always, especially when we're in lower spaces, like you feel like you got to do this by yourself or you have to just isolate yourself or you don't want anybody else. You don't want to be a burden, but you know, your people are here for you. So I talk to my sister or I call my mom or, you know, just send a text message to my friends. I go on the internet and laugh real quick. Like, you know,
TikTok.
Yo, TikTok is crazy.
Insane.
But yeah, I just listen to myself for real. Like when I feel like I need to tend to myself, I really stay still and get to the bottom of it.
How do you use music in those moments? Or do you use music in those moments?
I, you know, usually I write a lot.
Yeah.
I write a lot. Like I just have like, you know, ideas or just maybe a phrase, a word, red headband.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll just put it into my notes and just think about it and wash, rinse, repeat. Like take a nap, eat some food.
Yeah.
Pray, call my team. Like that's literally just like that's what I do to just kind of keep myself
sane.